Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, welcome you all to the Sunday Bhagavad Gita classes. So, we are in the chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita, and chapter 2 has 4 divisions. G stands for Arjuna accepting the Guru, I stands for identity, and T stands for two dharma. So, the two dharmas are one is Swadharma, because of our own bodily constitution, according to our varnas, we are all doing our own prescribed duties. And parodharma. Parodharma is that dharma towards the Lord, knowing our relationship with the Lord. And then A stands for Atmarama. Atmarama means a person who is Krishna conscious. How does he speak? How does he walk? How does he sit? How does he behave? So those symptoms are the one which makes a person a devotee. Not exactly when we just put a kanti or tilak. They are all external manifestation of being a devotee, but internally, like achar and prachar. First, you should behave that way, and then you have to preach, right? Without behaving, just preaching, will it work? So whatever you preach, you should also act accordingly. So we saw in the beginning of the chapter, Arjuna's eyes was filled with tears because he did not want to fight against his own relatives and teacher and the Guru. So therefore, what did Arjuna do? Did he Google and try to find out, or did he go to a psychiatrist or psychologist to understand his problem? What did he do?
He accepted Krishna.
He accepted Guru. So he approached a Guru. Yes, Shreyasya Nichitam Bruhitanme. So what does the Guru help us in giving a solution that is for the long term? Shreyas means that which is beneficial for us for long term.
Long term.
Prayers means that which will instantly give us some gratification, right? We all are looking for instant gratification in this world. But Shreyas means that which is beneficial for us in the long term. So Arjuna could understand that currently his position is very weak. He himself said in the Karpanya dosho pahata swabhava prichami tvam dharma sammoda cheta. I am overcome by the miserly weakness. Who is a miser? A miser is the one who has all wealth, but he cannot spend. So Arjuna here, he had all the skills, but he did not have the will to fight. Skill is there, but will was absent.
No.
So he think that he is a miser because you have a skill and you cannot use it. That means a miser. I am overcome by the miserly weakness. Therefore, Krishna, please help me. Accept me as your disciple. And why did Arjuna accept Krishna as a guru? They were either way friends. Previously also, Arjuna was talking to Krishna. We saw the entire first chapter. Who was the speaker? Only Arjuna. Did Krishna even open his mouth?
No, he didn't. No,
he only opened his mouth in the beginning of the second chapter. So we can understand that even Krishna, he gives advice only when he's solicited. So from this, what do we understand? That you give advice to one who seeks. So simply giving advice to somebody who does not even want, is it going to be helpful for that person or to you? It is useless. So advise people who solicit for that. So that's what we are learning from Krishna here. So as long as Arjuna was speaking, Krishna was just hearing. When Arjuna was really seeking advice from him, that is the time where Krishna will start speaking and giving him the gyan. Right? Meanwhile, what did Dhritarashtra thought? Arjuna is now crying and he is almost going to quit the battlefield. That means victory will be on whose side?
Kauravas' side.
But then what did Sanjaya, what all the words Sanjaya used so that Dhritarashtra will not have false hopes? He said Arjuna as Gudakesh. Gudakesh means the one who has overcome the ignorance. To overcome the sleep. Sleep is a form of the ignorance. And Parantapa. Parantapa means one who cannot be defeated very easily. And with whom he is? With Rishikesha. Rishikesh is the master of senses. Right now, Arjuna is not able to control his senses, right? He's crying, he's not able to. But when you are with the master of the senses, then what will happen to your own senses? Your own sense will get purified and soon will come to control. Under control. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. When you're serving Rishikesha, the master of senses, what are the two things that comes? Sarva Upadi Vinirmuktam. One comes out of all kind of designation. Sarvapadi Vinirmuktam Tat Paratvena Nirmalam. And then you become purified. So, and then now from sloka number 11, where the second division starts, identity. So Krishna is giving the real identity that we are the soul and we are not the body. So immediately when Krishna took the position as a guru, he started chastising Arjuna. What did he say? Nana Sochanti Pandita. You appeared like a Pandita because in the material terms, whatever Arjuna spoke, whatever the reasons Arjuna gave for not fighting, they look perfectly fine. On moral codes, does anything look wrong? When Arjuna is talking about compassion, when Arjuna is talking about enjoyment, when he's talking about fear of sinful activity, when he's talking about the destruction of family tradition, in morality, in moral terms, everything looks perfect. Correct? Yeah. But in spite of that, did Krishna appreciate, did he pat Arjuna's back and said, yes, Arjuna, you're so wonderful. You're thinking in a right way. What did Krishna do? He said, Nana Sochanti Pandita. You appear like a Pandita, like a learned person, whereas you are not. When you say you appear like that, what does that mean? That means you are not. It's just a show off, right? Some people, they may not be very rich, but they come out and they wear very fine clothes and everything to appear themselves as a rich person. But actually they are not. It is just a show off, right? Sure. So like you are appearing like a Pandita. So which means because he wants to say you're lamenting for things that are not worth for. What do you lament? This body is a temporary. We are not the body, we are the soul. So why are you lamenting for the body which is temporary? And in the next sloka, Krishna talks about the individuality and the eternity of the soul. What did he say? That all the kings and all the soldiers and everybody who is present here, they all existed, they are existing, and they will continue to exist. And I also existed, I am also existing, and I will also continue to exist. So Krishna is talking about the individuality of the soul. The soul, the Mayavads, what do they think? They think that as long as we are having the body, we are an individual. The moment we get liberated, we become one with the God. That means we merge. We lose our individuality. But if that is the case, Krishna has negated the statement saying about the individuality of the soul. So why do you worry? Your own grandfather will exist. Everybody will exist. But what did Arjuna say? Yes, I know they will exist, but I am lamenting for the change of their bodies. For that, what did Krishna reply? Dehi nosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara prapti dhirastatrana mukhyate. Like how the body changes from youthhood, from the child to the youth to old age. Similarly, what happens to the soul? The soul leaves one body and takes another body. So this is just a change, like how even while living in this world, our bodies keep on changing. We don't have the same body that we had few years back. Even modern science says that the cells keep on changing. So not a single cell in our body, you can see that is more than 7 years old. So if that is the case that is happening with the body, Similarly, the soul leaves one body and takes another body. And here, Bhishma Pita, Dronacharya, they are all noble souls. So after leaving this body, there are more chances for them to go to the spiritual world. If not that, at least where they will go? They will go to higher planetary system like Svargalok. So they are going to go to a better place. So why are you lamenting for that? For that, what did Arjuna reply? Krishna, you don't understand that I am attached to their bodies, current bodies. I know that, we are not the body, we are the soul, we are eternal, and they will get better bodies, but I am attached to their current bodies. So for that, what did Krishna say? Matra sparshastu kaunteya, shitoshna sukha dukkata, agama apayino anitya, tam titishashva bharata. Like how the season changes, summer and winter keeps changing, like that happiness and distress comes and goes. So agama apayino, they come and go and they are temporary. Anitya means temporary. Tam titishashva bharata, learn to tolerate. We should learn to tolerate the dualities. Krishna did not say that, oh Arjuna, you're such a fool. In spite of me talking about the soul, telling them not to worry, you're still attached to the body. He did not say that. All he said is learn to tolerate. Because Krishna also understands that it's going to be very painful. Losing the loved one is not going to be easy. You might know philosophically many things, that you're not the body or the soul. But still, when you lose the loved ones, it is not very easy because we are attached to their current body. So Krishna says, learn to tolerate. And in the sloka number 15, Krishna gives us what is the step for getting liberated, the solution to get liberated. Yamhina vyatayantete purusham purushashaba samadukka sukam dhiram so amrityaya kalpate. What is the eligibility for liberation? Krishna is giving. One should take both happiness and distress in a same way. Samadukka sukham. You should be able to overcome the duality of happiness and distress. So without overcoming the duality, we cannot get liberated. And even in the 7th chapter, Krishna says in one of the slokas, Icha dvesha samudvena dvandva mohena bharata sarva bhutani sammoha sarge yanti parantapa. O scion of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by the dualities arisen from desire and hate. So it's the very duality. That is sloka number 7.27, Mataji. 7th chapter, 27th sloka, where Krishna is talking about the very reason why we are coming back again and again is because of the duality. As long as we are in the duality, we have to be born again and again. So one should try to overcome the dualities of happiness and distress. And in the 6th chapter also, Krishna is telling another sloka, 6.7. You can refer that sloka also, where he is saying, Jitatmana prashantasya paramatma samahita shitoshna sukha dukkeshu tata mana apamaneyo. For one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is already reached, for he has attained tranquility. To such a person, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same. So in 3 levels, we can see the duality. Dualities in terms of body. In the bodily level, we feel sometimes hot, sometimes we feel the heat, sometimes the cold. In the mental level, we are happy sometimes and we are sad sometimes. And in the level of ego, sometimes we feel honored, sometimes we feel dishonored. So these are all the dualities in 3 levels. In the bodily level, then in the level of the mind, and then in the level of the ego. So one should try to come out of all these dualities that arise due to the body, due to the mind, and due to the ego. So in that way, one can get liberated. So we should learn to overcome the duality. So sometimes it's nice living in country like India, where we have lot of things to tolerate day in and day out, is very good. We will learn to tolerate. The more you're living in a very developed country, in a comfort zone, you will not come across much duality. You will be more in a comfort zone. Then how will you come out of the duality? It is difficult, right?
Yeah.
For example, the same thing happened to me. Like when I was going to the temple in the Houston, it's a AZ temple, less people, the darshan and everything was very beautiful. I really loved it. The very first time I came to the Juhu temple on Sunday, I was like totally bewildered seeing the crowd and the this one, no? I couldn't even concentrate on, taking the darshan of the Lord. But over a period of time, I have overcome the duality, and now there cannot be a time where I cannot take the darshan of the Lordships. I didn't even miss, at least once a week, I go for sure. Mataji. So this is how we overcome the duality. Yes. Like our Rath Yatra yesterday. How was it?
Beautiful, Mata.
Beautiful. But how was the rush?
Oh
and
my
how was
God.
those things?
Oh my God, that was really, I mean, I was really surprised seeing so many people. I was not
Yeah.
expecting.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is the things are not very easy, but we learn to overcome the dualities, right?
Duality.
Being in India, we get more of the opportunity. That's what Mahaprabhu said, Bharata Bhumile Janmama Hoi Paropakar. When you're taking the birth in the Bharata Bhumi, you should be able to do the Par Upakar. Paropakar means able to do the welfare for others. What kind of welfare we should do? What is a real welfare activity?
To spread Krishna consciousness.
Yes, that is a real welfare activity, because that individual, that soul will not come back again in this material world, and they will be going back to the spiritual world. And once you go to spiritual world, what did Krishna say? Yadgatvana nivartante taddama paramam mama. Once you go to the spiritual world, there is no more coming back. But in the material world, even you go up to the Swargaloka, Shine Punye Mrityuloke Vishanti. As soon as your pious credit get exhausted, you have to come back to the Mrityulok. So that is the difference between getting elevation within the material world and getting elevated to the spiritual world. Can you understand the difference? Even going to the Swargaloka is not going to be very easy. We saw in the previous classes. You should not speak any lies for how many lifetimes? Hundreds of lifetimes. So that will make each and every one of us become non-eligible to enter the heavenly planets. But once you go to, even in spite of that, if you go also, there is no guarantee that you will remain forever. As soon as your pious credit get exhausted, then you have to come back to the material world. For example, you're traveling somewhere abroad. Let's say that you're carrying some 5 lakhs with you. How long you can stay in that country? As long as you have this money.
The money, yes.
You. So the moment your balance is coming low, then it's time for you to go back to your own country, correct?
Yes.
So similarly, as long as your piety is there, you will be living in the heavenly planets. The moment your piety gets exhausted, then you will be sent back to the Mrityulok again. So that is the difference. So eligibility is come out of the duality. And then Krishna gives many other eligibility. In the end, what did he say? Sarvadharman parityacha mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma suja. He just said that, abandon all varieties of dharma. When Krishna has come here to establish the dharma, he said, come out of all dharma and just surrender to me. That means don't do any dharma which does not have Krishna in it. That's the meaning. Any dharma that you do without having Krishna in it, that is going to be useless. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo. I will get rid of all your sinful activities, moksha ishami, and give you liberation. Ma suja, do not fear. That's the assurance Krishna is giving to us. Okay. So we'll do today's sloka. Nasato vidyate bhavo.
नासते विद्यते भावो
Na bhavo vidyate sata.
नाभावो विद्यते तसता
Ubayorapi drishtontas.
उभयोरपि दृष्ट्योऽन्तस्
Tvanayostattvadarshibi.
त्वनयोदस्तत्तत्त्वदिशिः
Nasato vidyate bhavo.
नासतो विद्ययेत् भावो
Na bhavo vidyate sata.
नाभावो विद्यते सता
Ubayorapi drishtontas.
उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्तस्
Tvanayostattvadarshibi.
त्वनयो तत्त्वदर्शिभिः
Who would like to do this sloka?
Mataji, I can.
Mataji, I'll
Yes.
try. Okay.
Yeah.
Order.
Yes, Amrita Mataji, please.
Nasato vidyate bhavo.
Nasato
नासतो
vidyate
विद्यते
bhavo.
भावो
Na bhavu vidyate sata.
Na bhavo
भावो
vidyate
विद्यते सता
sata.
Ubhyorapi drustornatas.
उभयोरपि
Drishtontas.
दृष्ण
Tava anyo tattvadarshibhe.
Vananyo
अन्मतो तत्त्वदर्शिते
tattvadarshibi.
I'll read the
Word to word translation and
word
the
to word
meaning.
translation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, never, asata of the non-existent, vidyate, there is, bhava, endurance, na, never, abha, abhava,
Abhava.
abhava, changing quality, vidyate, there is, sata of the eternal, ubhayo of the two, api, verily, dishta, observe, anta, conclusion, two, indeed, anayo of them, tattva of the truth. Darshita by the seeds.
Darshibihi. Yeah.
Those who are seeds of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent, the material body, there is no endurance, and of the eternal, the soul, there is no change. This they have concluded by studying the nature of both.
Thank you, Mataji. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swami Tinamine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Pashyata Desatarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hari Hari.
So we saw in the previous classes also the seers of truth. There are two classes of people, personalist and impersonalist. The class of people, the devotees, they see God as a person. An impersonalist, how do they see the Lord? As imperson, one who has no form. Right? These are the two classes of people, right? Mayavadis and the devotees. And both of them and have the same conclusion. What is the conclusion? That the soul is eternal, whereas the body is temporary. The conclusion is the same. They both believe the eternity of the soul and the temporariness of the body. And this they have concluded by studying the nature of both, means nature of the body as well as the nature of the soul. How did you come to a conclusion? You have to make a study, right? So by making a study, they came to a conclusion that matter is temporary and soul is permanent. And there is a Brihat Narayana Upanishad, there is a Shanti mantra which says Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So one has to come from Asat, falsehood, to truth. And from Tamasoma, from darkness to light. Mrityomar, from the death to immortality. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. When do you get the peace? When you come to the truth. when you come to the reality, and when you come to the
Peace.
light, and when you come to the stage of immortality. You say somebody that we can become immortal, they laugh at you. They think that it is natural to die. How can one become immortal? Correct?
Yeah.
It is so natural. We have taken this process of birth, death, old age, and disease to be our natural process. But what did Krishna say? There is another world where there is no birth, there is no
birth
death,
and death.
there is no old age, and there is no disease.
Disease.
But because of no knowledge, ignorance, what do we think? We accept this material body to be all in all. We do not know that there is another world which is existing, where there is no more birth, there is no more death, and there is no more disease and old age. So this was Krishna says in the 8th chapter, 20th sloka, Parastasmastu bhavanyo vyakto vyakta sanatana yes sarveshu bhuteshu nashyastu na vinashyati. Yes, there is another unmanifested nature which is eternal, and it's transcendental to the manifest and unmanifest matter. It is supreme and it is never annihilated. When all the world is annihilated, that part remains. What is that part? There is a spiritual world, right? Material world is manifested and unmanifested. Correct? Whereas in the spiritual world, there is no manifestation and unmanifestation because it exists eternally. So this sloka is also given by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita in the chapter 8, sloka number 20, where he is talking about the spiritual world. And there is another sloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, chapter 9, text 34. There is 4 important slokas of Bhagavatam, which is called Chatursloki Bhagavatam. Like in Bhagavad Gita also, we have 4 important sloka called Chatursloki Bhagavad Gita. These 4 slokas, they give us the essence of the entire Bhagavad Gita. Like that, there is a Chatursloki Bhagavatam, which gives us the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. So in that, this sloka, Krishna says, Ritortha yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani tad vidyatmano maya yata bhasho yata tama. O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. So if we are seeing anything without Krishna, then what does that mean? It is Maya. Anything we think independent of Krishna, that is Maya. Because Krishna says, Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham. Krishna is present in each and every atom. The science says even atom is invisible. Correct? And within that invisible atom, Krishna says he is present. So if you are trying to see anything independent of Krishna, that means we are in Maya, and it has no value. And it has no value. Somebody has done maybe 10 PhD or 20 PhD. They may be a very great personality. They would have achieved a lot in the material terms. But if he is not devoted to Lord, if he doesn't understand from where all his power comes from to whom everything belongs to, then does that particular person has any value for himself?
No.
Yes, materially, yes. But actually speaking, according to the Shastras, according to the Krishna, that person does not have any value. This is said by Krishna to Brahma. Okay, know it as my illusionary energy. Maya means that which is not. So when we are thinking anything in our life without Krishna, that means we are in Maya. Okay, like some people, when we are trying to distribute books, they say that they don't want to take the book because they have taken non-veg. So just because if they know that taking non-veg is already a sinful, you shouldn't take. And second thing is, by rejecting the book, how come you become a better person? At least by getting Bhagavad Gita, there are chances when you read, slowly you may get transformed. But by rejecting the Gita, what goodness will stay with you? Already you, according to your own word, you have done a sin. And you are committing more sin by not even taking the knowledge given by the Lord, by rejecting the Vani of the Lord.
Lord.
That reflection which appears to be in the darkness. Okay. So that is a Maya, means that which is not. Anything that we see independent of Krishna, that is Maya.
Maya.
Okay, Mataji. So this is the sloka from Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran, Canto 2, Chapter 9 and Text 34. So now let us see what is the difference between the matter and the spirit. Uma Mataji, would you like to read this?
Ji Mataji. There is no difference between the matter and the spirit. There is no endurance of the changing body. That the body is changing every movement by the actions and reactions of the different cells is admitted by modern medical science, and thus growth and old age are taking place in the body. But the spirit soul exists permanently, remaining the same despite all changes of the body and the mind. That is the difference between the matter and the spirit. By nature, the body is ever changing and the soul is eternal.
So we can know that even the modern science admits the change of the cells and the body every now and then. It is not even our RBCs. Everything is changing every moment. And even we know our mind is changing. The mind of the child is much different from the mind of the youth, and from the mind of the middle-aged person thinks differently, and an old-age person thinks differently. So our body and the mind keeps changing. But does our soul change?
No.
The soul remains the same. For the
Same.
soul, there is no change. The change is only for the body. Even in the forthcoming verses, we will see about the transformation of the body. There are 6 transformations in the body. First, the birth. And then we see that there is a growth.
Childhood.
And then you see that for some time you remain. And then you reproduce. And then you become old. And then you die. So these are the transformation that is happening to the body. But for the soul, there is actually no such transformation. Okay. So that is very important to understand the difference between the matter and spirit. Matter is ever changing, but spirit is
It
always
is
the
remains the
same.
same.
Eternal.
The jivas, we are Tataksha Shakti. So we are the spirit souls engaged in the matter. So we are called marginal energy. So there is superior energy, which is Parashakti. Spirit is the superior energy. Matter is the Aparashakti.
Aparashakti.
Okay, it is a lower energy. One is the superior energy, another is an inferior energy. And we are in between. Tataksha Shakti. Either we go towards the spirit or we associate with the matter. So spiritualists, they try to understand their real purpose of their life, to end the miseries of the repeated birth and death, to understand the relationship with the God. Whereas materialists, what do? Each and every activity, a person who is in materialist, what does he do? Everything is for his body. Because he thinks himself to be the body to be one and all. So we can see the seers of truth. There are 2 people, personalist and impersonalist. Personalist are the one who sees the Lord as Bhagavan. Remember we saw that Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Sabhyate. The transcendentalist realized the God in 3 stages. Brahmeti means the one who sees as Brahman. Generally the Jnanis, they see the Lord as a Brahman. Paramatmeti, the Ashtanga yogis, those people who are involved in meditation, and they see him as a super soul. Bhagavan, who sees Krishna as a Bhagavan? The devotees. They know that he is a person himself. So both of them have come to the conclusion that the soul and the matter, the soul never changes, and then the matter always changes. So both the seers of the truth, whether you're an impersonalist or personalist, but this truth is common for both, knowing the difference between the matter and the spirit. Okay. So conclusion of the seers of the truth. Shweta Mataji, would you like to read this?
Yes. Conclusion of seers of the truth. This conclusion is established by all classes of seers of the truth, both impersonalist and personalist. In the Vishnu Purana, Canto 2, Chapter 12, Text 38, it is stated that Vishnu and his abodes all have self-illuminated spiritual existence. Jyotimishi Vishnu Bhuvanani Vishnuhu.
Vishnu.
The words existent and non-existent refer only to spirit and matter. That is a version of all seers of truth.
Okay, so this is only, we should know the difference between, in spiritual world, there is no sun, there is no moon, or there is no electricity. Then how do they get the light? Because of the self-effulgent body of the Lord. The Lord is compared to Koti Surya. One sun itself is lighting up this entire earth, right? Imagine Koti Surya. So it is self-effulgent planets. Even in the 15th chapter, there is a sloka, Na tad bhasayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha. Krishna speaks about his world. In his planet, there is no sun, there is no moon, or there is no electricity. Because it is self-effulgent.
Parents.
We are so proud of our eyes, but without light, can we see anything?
No, Mataji.
No.
So by which we can understand how imperfect our senses. Thinking that we have eyes, thinking that by using microscopes, this one, that one, we can understand the truth. Is our senses also perfect to see that? Even our hearing, we can only hear from some disciple to another disciple, right? We cannot hear all the sounds. Like bats hear some sound, we hear some sound, like that. Our hearing is also limited. Even our seeing is also limited. If you keep any book very close to your eyes also, you cannot see. Correct? So there is a particular distance you can see something. By which you can understand how imperfect are our senses. We cannot see properly, we cannot hear properly. In spite of that, we are trying to come to the conclusion. And we have come out with theories like Big Bang, which says that from zero volume and zero density, something exploded. And out of explosion, millions and trillions of universe has formed. Right? So just because they just want to give some conclusion. Okay. The next one is Sambandha Gyan. Lekha Mataji, would you like to read this?
Yeah, yes, Mataji. So, the beginning of the instruction by the Lord to the living entities who are bewildered by the influence of ignorance. Removal of ignorance involves the re-establishment of the eternal relationship between the worshipper and the worshipable, and the consequent understanding of the difference between the part and parcel living entities and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One can understand the nature of the Supreme by thorough study of oneself, the difference between oneself and the Supreme being understood as the relationship between the part and the whole.
Yes. So there are three types of jnana. Jnana means knowledge. The first is Sambandha Gyan. Sambandha Gyan means what? Connection. First, we need to understand what is the relationship between us and the Lord. Who is God? Who are we? And what is the relationship between us? That is Sambandha Gyan. And the next one is Abhideya. After knowing the relationship with the Lord, what do?
We serve him.
We serve them. That is Abhideya. And then Prayojana. You are serving the Lord, and over a period of time, what do you develop? The love
Love
for
for
God.
him.
So these are the three jnana. You can write down this: Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. So why do you serve your own children?
Out of love.
Love, but there is first connection, right? Because they are your children, right?
Yes.
Do you serve the neighbor's child? You
No.
may serve sometimes if there is a need, they ask for help. But on a daily basis, you will not go to the neighbor's house and wake up the child and get the child ready and send the child to the school.
School.
You will only
Your-
do for your own child because
children.
you have a connection, right? So because you are having connection, what do? You serve your child. You cook for your child. You take care of the child's needs. You're basically, what are we doing? We are serving the child. We are serving the
Child.
family. So just saying love you beta and not giving anything for the child to eat, if you do like that, will there be any love between you and your child?
No,
So by
not at all.
service, what happens? Sambandha, abhidheya, prayojana. Love comes automatically. So we may say that my Bhagwan ko manta hu, I love God and everything. But if you love God, you should also serve something.
Yeah.
Without serving the Lord, how can you say that you love? Even in the material world, if you love somebody, there is some mutual exchange of relationship. There is something that you serve each other.
Mm.
Without that, does the love exist?
No, not at all.
So how can you say that I love God, my Bhagwan ko manta hu and everything, but then you are not doing anything for the Lord? So is that a real understanding of the love of God? No.
No, not
So
at
the
all.
love of the God comes by understanding a relationship between the part and the whole. Like ocean of water and a drop of water. They are same in quality, but are they same in quantity?
No.
No.
So even if you take a drop of water in the ocean and if you study the nature of the drop, it will be same as the nature of the ocean. Correct?
Correct.
It won't be different.
Yes.
So similarly, by understanding ourselves, it is the same, but we should know that we are anu, we are an atom, we are very, very small. In the next sloka, we will see the size of our soul, our real self is 1 by 10,000
10,000
time of the tip of
tip
the
of
hair.
the hair.
This is our size,
So,
our real size of the
size.
soul. So how can we see that? But Krishna says that we are the part of the whole. Krishna is the whole and we are the part.
Part.
Mamaivamsho Jivaloke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. In the 15th chapter, 7th sloka, Krishna says that we are all is eternally part and parcel.
Parcel.
But why we are not able to understand? Manashishtani Indriyani. Because we are struggling with our mind and our senses. Because of uncontrolled mind and senses, we are not able to understand that we are the part and parcel of
Krishna.
Krishna. Like a bolt or a nut, as long as it is with the machine, it has some use.
Mm.
If the bolt or the nut falls down from the machine, will it have any significance?
No, not at all.
It absolutely loses all its significance, right?
Yeah.
So the part has to serve the whole, the finger. As long as it is attached to our body, the finger is very helpful for us to do a lot of activities. But if the same finger is cut off from our hands, will this finger has any significance?
No.
No.
So therefore, we should understand the part does not have any significance without attaching to the whole.
Soul.
So we should always understand our relationship with Krishna. Without understanding our relationship with Krishna, without understanding that we are part and parcel of Krishna, we as an individual, we don't have any value. Okay. So first we should understand the relationship between us and Krishna is the whole and we are all his part and parcel.
Part and parcel.
So and Jivera Swarupa Hoy, Krishnera
Krishna is
Nityadas. We are all
Nityadas.
his eternal servant. This is the first Sambandha Jnana. Without knowing the connection, we cannot do devotion to Krishna, right? Otherwise, in our mind comes, why not this God? Why not that? Why only Krishna and everything? Because Krishna himself said that Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo Matta Sarva Pravartate Iti Matva Bhajante Ma Buddha Bhava Samanvita. He said everything emanates from him only, both the spiritual world and the material world. Even in Bhagavatam, first sloka, he says, Janmadasya yatonvayat itaratas chardeva daswarat, vignaswarat. He says that everything has come only from him. When Krishna says everything has come from him, which means all the other gods, they also came from him only.
Yes.
Then if you are seeing every god independent, that is also Maya only. Because everybody is part and parcel of Krishna. Some are given higher designation, some are in the lower designation. Like the Prime Minister of India, he is also a citizen. We are also a citizen. But what is the difference between him and us? He is the supreme
Fine.
He's a-
authority, but
Yeah.
we are all just citizens abiding by the law and order
Law.
of the state and the country. Whereas he is a supreme authority, but both are citizens.
Yeah.
He is not a god. Correct? So similarly, all the other devatas, they are also jivas only. But only thing is they are superior. They are given higher responsibilities. And therefore we need to respect. If Prime Minister is in front of you, you will offer your respect, right?
Yeah.
Forget a Prime Minister. Even a Mumbai Commissioner comes in front of you, you will offer respect.
Yes.
Any authorities, we do offer our respect, correct? So
Yes.
similarly, we need to respect the devatas because they are all taken up a lot of other administrative job of maintaining the universes. But we can worship Krishna only by watering the roots. When you water the roots, automatically the plant or the tree gets nourished.
Yeah.
Are we separately watering the leaves, separately watering the twigs, and separately watering the branches?
No.
What do? You just offer water to the roots. Automatically the tree gets nourished. Similarly, when you're offering your worship to Krishna, all the devatas, everybody gets satisfied. So you don't have to separately satisfy each and every one of them. Okay?
Mm.
So did you all understand the Sambandha Gyan properly?
Ji.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Shilpa Mataji, would you like to read this?
Yes, Mataji. Scriptures reveal origin of all emanation.
Yes,
In the
Mataji.
Vedanta Sutras as well as in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Supreme has been accepted as the origin of all the emanations. Such emanations are experienced by superior and inferior natural sequences. The living entities belong to the superior nature, as it will be revealed in the 7th chapter. Although there is no difference between the energy and the energetic is accepted as the supreme, and the energy of or the nature is accepted as the subordinate.
So as we said, even in Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna said, Janma dase yatonvata itaratas chardeva bidnaswarat. He said, the very first sloka of Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna says that everything has emanated from him only. After Krishna said everything has emanated from him, still why do we search for the absolute truth? If the phone is right in front of you, will you keep searching for the phone all over your home? You won't search, right? Because what you're looking for is right in front of you. Why do you search? So Krishna says he is the absolute truth. Everything came from him. So instead of believing that, why are we searching the absolute truth? Is it the intelligence? And Krishna also talks about two types of nature. One is Parashakti and Aparashakti. And that is also given in the Bhagavad Gita, Sloka, chapter 7, text 5. Apareyam idasvanya prakritim viddhi me para jiva bhuta mahabaho yayetam dharyate jagat. So he is talking about para and apara shakti. Para shakti means what is that? It is a superior energy. Apara shakti means it is a inferior energy. For example, the car is a matter. Can the car go itself without a driver?
No, Mataji.
No.
Car has a purpose as long as it is driven by a driver. Correct? Without that, will the car has any purpose? Okay, some people may say today we have automatic cars, but behind the designing of automatic car also, there is some intelligence that was involved. There is a person who is involved, correct? Without that, can the automatic car also function? So like the car needs a driver. Therefore, this inferior energy cannot act on its own. It can only act by a superior energy. Like for example, if a person is dead, his body is there. Why are we saying that the person is gone? What has gone from him?
The soul.
The soul. Dehi nosmin yata dehi. Dehi means the proprietor. The proprietor is not the body. The proprietor is inside the
The
body,
soul.
which is the soul, right? So similarly, so the Parashakti and Aparashakti. So energetic means now we are all using electricity. We are all using the electrical energy. But there is a powerhouse. Without the powerhouse, can the electricity just come from nowhere? It needs
Yeah.
an energy. So that is the energetic. So Krishna is the energetic and we are all the energy. And the prime energy of Krishna is Aladini Shakti, Radharani. She represents the prime energy of Krishna. And we are all the living entities. We are also the energies of Krishna, whereas Krishna is the energetic. So energetic is superior and we are always subordinate. Even Radharani is always serving Krishna in the subordinate position. Right? Even though Krishna is enchanted by her, but she is always in the subordinate position of the Krishna. So we are always subordinate. We are not the masters. We are all the servants. We are all the subordinates. Because in the material world, the very word servant means what? We think that we are somewhere inferior. Each and everybody in this world, they want to become masters. They want to be a leader. Even a street sweeper, he thinks himself to be a master. He thinks that without him, his house cannot function. Right? So everybody has the thing that, we are all trying to occupy the position of Krishna, thinking that we are the doers. Okay, so the scriptures reveal the origin of all the manifestation is from Krishna only. Ashok Prabhu, would you like to read this?
Purpose of teaching Bhagavad Gita. The living entities, therefore, are always subordinate to the Supreme Lord, as in the case of the master and the servant, or the teacher and the taught. Such clear knowledge is impossible to understand under the spell of ignorance, and to drive away such ignorance, the Lord teaches the Bhagavad Gita for the enlightenment of all living entities for all time.
So what is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita? Is to drive out the ignorance. As long as we are in the ignorance, we will not have the right knowledge. Like we saw, Tamasoma, Jyotirgamaya,
Mrityurma
Mrityoma,
Amritam Gamaya.
Mrityurgamaya. Yeah, so as long as we are Asatoma, Sadgamaya. From Asat to, we have to come to the Sat, right? So as long as we are in ignorance, what is the ignorance means? Knowing that if we do not know that we are not the body,
We are
we
the soul.
are the soul. Those people who do not know the real knowledge that we are not the body, we are the soul, then how do they act? If you are in a
They are the
bodily
master.
platform, you're acting yourself as a master. And when you act yourself as a master, is there any chance for you to come out of the sufferings of this material existence?
No.
We saw in the material existence, there are 7 sufferings. What are they? Birth, death,
Death,
old age,
Old age.
disease,
and this is common for all. See, some problem may be personal to me, some problem may be personal to Uma Mataji, some problem may be personal to Shweta Mataji, Namrita Mataji. We all have personal problems, but one problem that is common to all is what? Birth, death, old age, and disease.
and disease.
Apart from that, 3 more problems. What are they? Threefold miseries. Adi, Bhautik,
Adi,
Adhyatmic, and
Adi,
Adi
Adi.
Daivik. Miseries from our own body and the mind, miseries arising from other living entities, and miseries arising from the nature.
nature.
For example, all the people who are in the Air India flight in Ahmedabad, what happened? They did not die because of their own self. They died because of the flight crash. Because of that, they died. That is Adi Daivik, right? So these are all the miseries. Like when Corona came, it took away so many lives, right? Pandemic. So that is also called as Adi Daivik. When there is heavy storm, it kills many people. Tsunami, taken away the life of many people. Like that, there are so many natural calamities that are happening, right? By which people are getting diseased or people are getting injured or people are dying, right? So if one has to come out of these 7 problems, then what we should take? We should take the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita. So this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is not just the conversation between Arjuna and Krishna. Yes, Krishna did drive away the ignorance of Arjuna, but Arjuna is just a representative of all the living entities. If somebody is taking the interview from a diabetologist, that doesn't mean that the person is diabetic, so he's asking questions to the doctor. Why is he asking questions? On behalf of all the people who wants to know more about diabetes. He asks questions that can be common to all of them who are suffering from diabetes, correct?
Yes.
Not necessarily he has to be diabetic. So here Arjuna appears to be ignorant by asking these questions and by behaving Pandita. But he appears why? Just because he wants to enlighten us. And Krishna chose Arjuna to teach Bhagavad Gita. Because what is the qualification Arjuna had? Bhaktosi mein
Devotee and friend.
He is a friend as well as a
and the
devotee.
friend. So he is asking this. So this Bhagavad Gita can drive away the ignorance and enlighten the living entities for all the time. When we go to the 4th chapter, we will know that. First, Krishna instructed Bhagavad Gita to sun god Vivaswan. So it's not that Bhagavad Gita just came few years, 5,000 years back. Bhagavad Gita is always existing. These Shastras always exist. Okay, right now we got in the book form because as the Kali was coming in, Vedavyas understood that people will lose the hearing capacity. Earlier we were all Shrutidaras. If you just hear once, like a copy paste, your mind can absorb. We didn't have pen or pencil or notebook to write down the notes, right? Just by hearing, one can reproduce. And Sutta Goswami just heard the conversation between Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami, right, in the bank of the river Ganges. And further, in the Naimisharanya forest, he narrated this Bhagavatam to all the other sages, headed by Shaunaka Rishi. So, what did Sutta Goswami take the notes? No, he didn't take any notes or anything. He just heard the conversation. All the slokas just heard. And then just by hearing, he could deliver to others. But they could also see the Kali coming in. Manda Sumanda Matayor Banda Bhagya. In Kali Yuga, our intelligence is very manda, dull. Manda Bhagya. How is our fortune? We are all unfortunate. We are not fortunate. Manda Sumanda Batayor Manda Bhagya. So this is the nature of the Kali Yuga. Therefore, we need all these scriptures to read because our retention is very poor just by reading. Therefore, we have to keep on reading and we have to do that. So we'll just discuss on the purport, whatever we have seen through. So we saw the difference between the matter and the spirit. What is the difference between the matter and the spirit?
Matter changes, spirit does not change.
Yeah, matter is temporary, whereas spirit is permanent.
Permanent.
And what is the influence of ignorance? Under ignorance, what do?
And we think we are the supreme, we are the master.
We are the master. We think ourselves to be the body, right? And everything that we do is thinking that we are the master of the self. And what is the way we can remove the ignorance? How do we remove the ignorance?
So devotional practice.
Yeah, by re-establishing our relationship with the Supreme Lord.
Supreme.
Okay, that's what the Sambandha Gyan. First, we need to know what
Sambandha
who is the Lord and what is the relationship. We have to re-establish. Why it is called re-establish? Relation is already there. We just forgot. Therefore, we need to re-establish. Krishna consciousness is dormant in all the living entities. All we need to do is just an awakening. If somebody is sleeping, what you should do? You should just wake them up.
Wake him.
Right? That doesn't mean that the person is dead, right? You just have to wake up the person. So re-establish the relationships. And we need to understand the
Nature of the
duality, the
supreme.
difference. We need to understand the difference between who is the God, who are we. We need to know our actual position, that we are not the God. We are all the servants
Part
of
and
the
parcel
Lord,
of.
and we are all the part and parcel of the Lord. That is also very important, because as we said, the Mayavads, what do they think? They think that as long as we are having the body, we will remain individual. And once we get liberated, we become one with the Lord. That means you will become a God, right? One with the God means like you become the God. So you should have a correct understanding of the relationships and understanding the nature of the Supreme. So what do we understand the nature of the Supreme? Everything has emanated from Him. And then the living entities are superior energy, whereas the matter is the inferior energy. Okay. And also, we are all the subordinates. We are not the masters. We are all the subordinates. And lastly, we saw what is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita?
To remove ignorance.
To remove the ignorance and to drive and to enlighten the living entities. So the Gita is to enlighten the living entities, to understand, to make us understand our real self, who we are, who is God, and what is the relationship between us. That is very important. There are so many scriptures. Today, do we have intelligence to understand everything? No. So just by reading Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam is good enough in the age of Kali for us to have enough knowledge to go back home, back to God. Okay, so is it all clear? All the points that we discussed in this particular sloka?
Yes.
Yes.
Any questions or any realizations?
I think we need to more sink in more and more, Mataji. I think you need to read more to sink in.
Correct, yeah. So go through the purport again. Yeah. Because I have used the same purport only. Only thing is I have given different headings to make things easier. Okay, this is not that I have not taken something by my own. It is all from Prabhupada's purport.
Correct.
But it given like small divisions so that we understand each and every purport properly. Go through it again and again, read it, because that absorption is needed. As we said, we are not the Srutidaras. The more we read, the more we hear, the more we chant, then this absorption comes. Okay. So it's not that Bhagavad Gita, you read once and you close the book, and then like how academic studies. If you are done with one class, what do? We take away all the book and we give to the Radiwala, right? So Gita is not like that. Okay, maybe we may not give to Radiwala, knowing that, but it's not that we studied and we put it in the corner in the puja room with the red, covering with the red cloth and do puja. Okay, yes, it is worshipable because it's Vani of Krishna, but Krishna will be more happy if we read it and follow the instruction than just worshipping him. Correct? So Bhagavad Gita is to be read again and again and again and again. Is Mataji? Like I have also read Bhagavad Gita many times, and I am reading again and again, and I will continue to read again and again. So there is no end to reading of the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. The more we read, the more realization we get it. Okay, Mataji. So continue reading Bhagavad Gita. That is more important. Every day, at least read one of the purports. And as we say, it's very important that we need to spend at least how many minutes I said to read the Bhagavad Gita or any Shastras, any spiritual books? At least 15
minutes.
Yeah, minimum 15 minutes. You can read for 1 hour, 2 hour also. I'm not telling them, don't say that I said just 15 minutes and keep a timer and close it. So minimum 15 minutes, please read the Shastras. That is very helpful. And I'm also posting the Prabhupada's class every day, which is like 25, 30 minutes.
Yes, Mataji.
Please listen to Prabhupada because he's a pure devotee. The Vani of Prabhupada is very, very, it can help us to come out of all our material desires and whatever thing and help us to come to the stage of perfection. So Take advantage of hearing to Srila Prabhupada, reading Prabhupada's books, and by chanting the Mahamantra at least 16 times. If you're not chanting till then, whatever the prescribed rounds that you have taken the sankalp, please do that. It may be 1 or it may be 4 or it may be 8 or 10 or whatever it is. Whatever rounds you thought you're going to do during the day, please do it. Take it as a sankalp and do it. And offer boga. Okay, to start with, at least offer once a day a cooked meal for Krishna, because when you're offering boga, then you're developing relation. Like you develop relation with your family members by offering them food, by cooking for them, right? With your friends, when they come, don't you give something for them to eat? Your relatives come, don't you give something for them? So this is an exchange of love, right? So when we are offering the boga to Krishna, that is saying that Krishna, I prepared for you. You are the first enjoyer of whatever I cooked. So whatever you have left, your remnant, we will eat. And Krishna is very merciful. He is giving to us. He is not eating himself. So in spite of that, we are not offering. Imagine if Krishna is eating everything that we are giving, then nobody will offer anything also. Right? So he's giving as it is to us. Just by his glance, he can eat. Krishna can do anything by any, his senses is not like our senses. He can eat through his eyes. He can see through his ears. So Krishna's senses can act. So just you're ringing the bell and you're offering Tulsi Patta and you're chanting Mahamantra and you're offering the boga, Krishna, just by hearing and seeing, he will accept your boga. And please use Tulsi to offer Krishna, because Krishna does not accept the boga without Tulsi. So always offer the boga to Krishna with Tulsi in it. Even if you cannot get fresh Tulsi every day, you can buy some Tulsi, you can sun dry and keep it. And then while offering, you can use it. It's not a hard and fast rule that it has to be fresh Tulsi. It can be a dried up a leaf also. But ensure that you're offering with the Tulsi. Okay. And we'll do the Narsimha Pranama. Lekha Mataji, would you like to lead the Pranama, Narsimha Pranam?
Yeah, Mataji.
Yeah, please.
Namaste Narasimhaya Prahladaye Hiranyakashiपूर्वक्षः शीलतङ्गानकालाये
Ito
नरसिंहा परतो नरसिंहा यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहा पाहि नरसिंहानहृदय नरसिंहो नरसिंह आदि शरणं प्रपद्ये तव कर कमलवरेण्यका अद्भुत शृंगा हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवोद्धृत नरहरि रूपा
जय
जय
जगदीश
जगदीश
हरे
हरे
जय
जय जगदीश हरे
जय
जय
जगदीश
जगदीश हरे
जय
जय
नरसिंहदेव जय
नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव
जय
जय
प्रहलाद जय
प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद
प्रभुपाद जय
जय प्रभुपाद
जय
गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव
नरसिंह भगवान की जय
जय
मणि प्रहलाद महाराज की जय
जय
श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय
जय
जय गौर
वांछनीय
Vancha kalpataru
Kalpatarupascha Kripasindhubhayavacha
Patitanam
Patitanam
Pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo
Namo Namah.
Ananta Koti
Koti
Vaishnavendra Jai
Vaishnavendra
Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai
Prahlad ki
Bhagavad
jai,
Gita
Bhagavad
as it
Gita
is.
as it is ki jai.
Jai.
So today Ekadashi being on Sunday, it is definitely a benediction for all the working people. At least on the working day, it is difficult for you to do a lot of sadhana. So please use each and every moment of today's day in the service of Krishna. Read, chant, hear, whatever you're doing today. It is a day very dear to Krishna, very close to this is Madhava Tithi. So please use this day to go closer to Krishna. These days, or Ekadashi is the mother of devotion. By following Ekadashi and by doing, we will definitely advance spiritually because they give us impetus to chant more, to hear more, and everything. So, this particular day, and today being the Ashada Ekadashi, Pandarpur Ekadashi, it's very, very auspicious. We know many Maharashtrians today they do the Ekadashi. They may not do all the Ekadashi, but at least today, most of them do that. It's a very powerful Ekadashi. Today, all Ekadashis are powerful, good, but please, my humble request to each and every one of you, utilize your full day in the service of Krishna. And this will be definitely very helpful, for us like a launch pad. When you want to go to the outer space, you have a launch pad, right? Where you put so it goes. So today's day is like a launch pad. When you do, you can straightly, it helps us to go back to the spiritual world. Okay, where knowing our purpose. I think each and every one of us is clear with our purpose of life, right? There's no doubt or no questions about our real position and the position of the Lord and what we should do and what should be the goal of life. That's all. It's very simple. Krishna consciousness is very simple. Just that because we like more complicated life today. We don't like simple life. That's the problem. Being simple is difficult now. Correct?
Yeah, Mataji.
That's the most difficult thing is to be simple. Because the entire world is going for sophisticated things. Right?
Yeah.
So we'll take a leave and all of you wish you a very happy Ekadashi once again and utilize your time in the service of Krishna. And try to also preach to some of your relatives or friends anything that you can do. That preaching activity is also very good today. So wherever you can, whatever you can do, please try to give this Krishna consciousness to others also. Try. Whether they take it up or not taking it up, that's not our problem. Mahaprabhu said, Jare teko, dare kaho Krishna Upadesh. Whomsoever we meet, give them the Krishna Upadesh. That's all. He didn't tell us to make them devotee. So just give them, talk to them about Bhagavad Gita, talk to them, your close friends, your close relatives. Maybe they may hear to you, right? And Mahaprabhu says, Amara Agnya Guru. He wants each and everybody to become Guru. To give this Krishna consciousness to everyone. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.